we'll
Already.
hit go live and it says we're going live and we're live. It was primed and ready.
Hi. Welcome to the StockinetteZombies. I'm Amy, also known as J Nitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And this is episode 432. 432.
Cool.
Yeah. It's got a nice like ring to it, right?
Yeah, counting down 4, 3, 2. Yeah. One, blast off.
Last time that would have been possible, would have been 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
And then a lot in the double digits, but we won't do all the number theory.
Nope.
That's a different podcast. That's a different podcast. How are you?
Good. I am under the weather, but
No, no.
surviving.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been an interesting February for that. I feel like this morning, because it was kind of warm yesterday and cold today, I woke up and my sinuses were like, things keep changing. Why is that?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
did you
I
watch
think
it? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I was trying to say that that's what this was until yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. Did you watch any of the Super Bowl?
Not a single minute of it.
Mm,
I remember thinking, oh, it's Super Bowl Sunday. We should totally watch that. And then just treated it like any other day and didn't turn it on.
yeah, on VKN, yeah, on Wednesday, we watched a couple of the like somebody had seen a article that was like the top advertisements. So
Oh, yes, I have seen the Dun Kings.
the Dun Kings, yes, was entertaining. Um, the
I haven't
one
seen
with
the Michael Cera. That was supposed to be a good one, but I
yes,
haven't
that was
seen that
another
one
one
yet.
that we watched on shared video. And then the Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito, like a good neighbor.
Twins.
Yes, like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. Neighbor, 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 neighbor.
Oh, that's fun. Twins. I
Yeah,
should watch that movie again. I haven't seen it in so long. It's probably super offensive or something awful in it, but
things kind of age a little differently.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was entertaining. I think we my family's like least favorite was the um so we call it Timu, but
Oh,
the commercial had it ooh tamu ooh tamu, but like they just showed the same video over and over again. Like we're like you're buying all this really expensive ad space. And then yeah, Usher at halftime like roller skated, and I guess the roller skates were made here in Minnesota.
yep.
Um, so
I
that's
saw
that's
that
pretty
on NPR News.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He was sweaty, like enough that
Mm.
like I Googled like how warm it was in Las Vegas because it looked like he was like, keeping his eyes kind of closed because there was so much sweat. But again, he was dancing, he was doing a lot of
He
dancing. There was
needed a
probably a lot of
headband.
lights. Yeah.
He needed like, a nice little sweat guard above his eyebrows.
I felt bad for him. It's like this is your moment. And I think the whole family kind of came in at that point and watched the halftime show. Ellie made this little snide comment about like maybe someday I'll be old enough that I know all of the songs in the halftime show.
Oh,
And I was
funny.
like, sweetheart, Rihanna last year, did you know any of those songs? And she's like, yeah, I knew them all, Mom. She's like super cool. And I'm like, so you are old enough to know all of
Already,
the
yes.
songs? Oh, okay, point taken. I think she's just poking fun at the fact that like I knew when it was Dr. Dre's halftime show and I knew
Yep, yep.
most of Usher's songs as well. So
Yes, when it's 90s nostalgia, I know all the words, yes.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, that was entertaining. And that yeah, it's just been it feels like it's been busy between work and family and yeah, Valentine's Day and Super Bowl and so
Yeah.
Lots of knitting happening though. Just a reminder, we've got KALs going on and lots of them. Hopefully lots of opportunities to participate. So the Zombie Explorers, it's right now it's cozy, so it's heads, hands, neck, body, feet. Self-striping is just anything self-striping.
Mhm.
You can do self-striping on any of those other categories and enter them twice, as I've seen multiple people do. And then if you're coming to our ZK event, ooh, is that Nyan Cat?
No, this is our Camp ZK from
Yeah,
Show
yeah.
Me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, yeah, the ZKKAL right now is Garter Ridges
Mhm.
for moonbeams and sun rays. And coming up soon will be our light and dark, right?
Yep, night and day, light and dark. Just knit something with contrast color, so two colorways at least, and then if it's more, one has to be high contrast. So if you just think color block instead of color fade, I guess is how I am categorizing that. So if you have a lot of stuff fading, you need to have one pop of color in there for your entry. And then yeah, otherwise it's pretty open-minded, open-ended.
Mhm.
So color work can be stripes, it can be stranded, it can be
But it's
just
not self-striping because we were talking about using two
in
strands of
color.
yarn. But if
In
you
color.
use self-striping with another, like I have been doing with
Yeah.
some of my Muselboro hats,
Or heels and toes, right? Like you could put your toe into a bright contrasting color and your heel, and then that would count too.
Mhm. So I definitely have been starting planning that for its March kickoff. So yeah,
Yeah,
excited.
I'm gonna finish my hoodie this weekend, or I'm bound and determined to finish it this weekend because I'm on the very edge of the hood. But now I'm debating, do I do shoulder season now, or do I, and try to finish it before the end of the month, or do I wait and make that pop of color on the shoulder my two colors?
Yeah,
Um,
no, we were
because
having that conversation on Wednesday as well. It's like
right,
you can't can't be started before March, right? No, and it can't be finished after March. Nope. You yeah.
yeah, we're
So
in that
I
awkward
also
in
have a cast on that I'm like, can I finish this in time? We will see. It's a little easier for me because it doesn't have a contrast color. So
oh,
it's just got garter. So
yeah.
go for
I'm
it.
I'm trying to decide if I finish up, Monday's a holiday for me. So if I finish up like the hood like late Saturday, early Sunday, I think the shoulder season is doable. It's
Short
just two
sleeves
skeins of
for
yarn,
sure. Yeah.
two skeins of yarn. I can get her done.
You can. I have faith in you. You might have to go monogamous, but
Yes, no, absolutely, 100%. 100%. I only have three things on the needles right now, so
what? Who even are you?
don't know.
Okay.
Don't know.
All right. You want to talk FOs?
Yes. So, in the theme of 2024, we got the Year of the Dragon. Whoop, whoop.
Oh, he's so cute.
So
He's very
I
green.
posted a picture with the other one because I made them in the same color. So proof that there are two of them. Uh, and his ears I finished them a little bit more according to pattern than last time. So with this little like Shrek binding on his ears, so they kind of stand out a little more.
Mhm.
And yep. So you're the dragon. So cute. And he's
Mhm.
got garter on his belly. Look at that. Woo. So yeah.
He's very cute. He's a nice green. It's a nice green for a dragon.
Yep. And that yarn was a one of a kind from Hit by a Farm, I think is yeah, they were selling yarn made from their sheep and dyed on their farm many, many moons ago. So, and then I have a PB sandwich.
Mhm.
I don't know how many times I tried to look this up as peanut butter, and it doesn't show up. It's PB sandwich.
Yep, yep. Look
So,
at that pop
you-
color.
so this is from our kits one year for the
Oh,
retreat
on
from
the
Suburban Stitcher.
yeah,
So I've
dock
got that
beach.
fade. Yep. And then the pop is that universal merino that I bought a bunch of like highlighter type colors to be the pop in some socks and hats and everything. Kind of like your mixers that
Yep.
you get. Like I decided I wanted neon mixers, so we got some neon mixers bought at Darn It Anyway in Stillwater.
Very pretty.
And then now more retreat bonus goodness. We have
Hmm.
this yarn is from Berry Fun, and then the pattern was developed by Kirsten. So it is a bonus, and
Yeah.
the pattern has garter. So bonus.
Yeah, I love how the colorway knit up in that.
Yeah, a little bit more pooling on this sock with the green up here and the brown down here, and then this was like just a bit more of the mixing.
Hmm.
But you know, as we do with hand dyed yarns. And then another one, we got 716 knit. It's got the OMG heel and some garter along the top.
Yes,
So we're
yes.
bonus
Hmm.
on those.
Whatever motivates you, right? Like I found
Yep.
it extremely motivating. So I'll be like, bing, 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 bing.
Yeah, I am noticing that I hadn't entered for quite a while, and so I just did that and did some
Mhm.
approvals while I was or validation while I was out there. And I noticed that yeah, Discord links don't work everywhere. So
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
that's okay. Just need to be on home Wi-Fi, that's all.
Got it. Got it. Yep.
Hmm. And then yeah, that's it. I got those four things done, and then I've been working pretty diligently on my sweater to get that one done. I think, if we had postponed this to next week, I would have had a sweater, but you'll see that when we get there again.
Yeah, yeah, you not on while we were recording and not really, but you were giving me a little bit of a hard time last time on whips where like I was showing off some finished, like it was mostly finished. So my little flat cats, the inside cats that I'm
Mhm.
mailing off, they got their faces. And they turned out super cute. Again, free pattern on Knitty tells you exactly how you're supposed to do it, right? Like how many stitches apart the eyes should be and like where you should orient, like just chef's kiss, like perfect for somebody like me that's like, I don't know how to put a face on a cat, right? Sometimes patterns just say like look at the finished object photo
Mhm.
and figure it out, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that. So yeah, I kept it because it was they were going to be for smaller children. I didn't like do distinct ones, so like my nose wasn't red like in the photo. It
Mhm.
was just like black eyes that were more beady and then like more of flat nose. And then I did the whiskers and all like as one strand, like running it through the back.
Mhm.
Less likely that the strings would come undone and there'd be small
Mhm.
pieces that could get like mouthed or ate or whatever, right? So yeah, I took pictures obviously before I shipped them off. But I got into a good headspace, anxiety at a minimum, and then I just made the faces. So yeah, those are super cute and super fun. I've not made Sullivan his yet, although I do still have the yak yarn. And then at that time, I also showed off that I think I had some ends to weave in, and this needed to be blocked. Um, and so this is the Fall Frolic. It's with the Yarnaceous colorway from ZK 2023. I find that I'm really drawn to like the really bright colors right now, kind of like your, neon mixer. It's just like greens and bright colors because it's so brown and dreary. Are like yeah, just a little bit of purple, which I used some woolens and nosh that I'd left over from another sweater on the sleeves and around the neck. And it's got, you guys won't be able to see my belly, but I'll hold it up, or maybe you will. It's got an extended rib written like 3 inches of ribbing down at the bottom written into the pattern. I kind of mirrored that on the sleeves. And I added some length, like she has them like bracelet length, and I made them quite long. Um, but yeah, a nice like lightweight but cozy sweater. And yeah, I just love this base so much.
Mhm.
It's so soft, and it was so soft to work with, and now it's so soft to wear at post washing as well.
Mhm.
So yeah. And then as part of whips, I think I mentioned, or I had just gotten it on the needles, my Beach
Mhm.
Please out of Knit Picks Loft. You're not going to be able to see the lace very well with some of my lighting and the green. But yeah, Tarragon and Celestial are the two colors. And it's just, I mean, when I'm wearing it, it doesn't feel like there's anything on me, right?
Mhm.
Like it's just kind
Mhm.
of a very nice light layer. I've taken some flat lay and some dress form pictures, but I need to take some pictures on me and then get that sent out. But yeah, it's definitely fuzzy. But that silk mohair is a nice combo. There, you can see the lace a little bit better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, enjoyed that knit quite a bit, kind of a throwback, if you will. And yeah, the construction on this, just as a reminder, is that you cast on here, you do the lace, much like you putting in an afterthought heel, you put in an afterthought neckline, which is just like knitting across with some spare yarn and then continuing on your way. You can rip that out as early or as late as you want to. I would recommend doing so while you're separating before you go down to the body, just so you can see where it sits on you, and try it on throughout, like length for the length. And then you progress to these stripes, and then after doing a 3 needle bind off underneath the sleeves, you continue on down
Do you
stripes
have
and
a
around.
recommendation for um your afterthought yarn with the mohair?
I just used a really smooth, like, wool,
Mm.
basically. And it was a little bit more difficult with the mohair to rip it out. I almost, some people, like some instructions that you see for afterthought heels, they have you pick up the strands before you even rip it out. Like I would definitely do that with this, right? Because
Okay.
it's very slippery, slickery yarn that would just go, so yeah, I can't even remember what I had laying around, just a merino
Okay.
nylon. And it was just, yeah, it picked out pretty well. But yeah, mohair likes to stick to itself a lot.
Hmm. Yep.
So, yep. And then yeah, I finished this like in record time. I don't know if it's the combination. It's a very airy fabric as well. This is the My Favorite Sweater 28. Um, it's got a nice little like mock turtleneck. I think the pattern had you do like 3 or 4 repeats for the
Oh
turtle
wow.
for the neck, and I was like, I'm just going to do 2. And then it's a very unique construction rather than doing like a raglan, which increases 8 stitches every other row most of the time. This just increased along this line the whole time, so every single row. And it causes this very dramatic, as you can see, shoulder slope. And then once you get to so it's got a drop sleeve for sure. But once you get to
Um,
your width, then you work back and forth on the front and back and forth on the back to create this
yeah,
armhole. And
I think I would want to try on a sweater like that before I would attempt one. Yeah,
yeah,
different.
yes, definitely. But yeah, lots of texture. And then I used some of my Suburban Stitcher Fade Club. So I think it was like 15, 16, and 17, or maybe it was 16, 17. I think it was 16, 17, 18. Because I'm holding that alpaca merino yak, like mohairy-esque. I think there's silk in there too from that Dark Lake yarn that I mentioned last week in my favorite things. They it I don't know that you see the fade as much.
Mhm,
I mean, I can see sometimes like if I hold the sleeve up to here that it got darker,
mhm,
right? Or more brown. There's more browns in that part of it. But it's very subtle, and I kind of
mhm,
like that. Like I didn't
mhm.
want it to feel like a did you ever make those Jello cups growing up that were like three layer what were they called? There was like a fancy name for it, but basically you made it up and it separated into like a hard jello layer and like a foamy
Oh,
something layer
oh,
on top, and they were all kind of different colors. I didn't want that distinct like parfait look
oh,
to
okay.
it. If that makes sense. I just wanted it to blend. And yeah, it's a nice the sleeves look ridiculously skinny right now. It's not been blocked. But like my both of my arms will fit into it. So they're very, oh, let's see how warm I can make myself. They're very stretchy, and I plan to block them out quite a bit. But yeah, just kind of a nice detail of that.
Oh, cute.
And then I did again because Megan the modifier. She had some instructions in there about slipping the first stitch to make it so you don't get that garter ridge. I just made the first and the mid stitch just maintain that kind of the look of that one stitch here all the way down. I don't know that it's as dramatic as I thought it was, but it did do the trick of like you don't see the garter mismatch when you change over. So, but yeah, it's going to be a nice, warm,
Mhm.
cozy, cozy sweater with this, and we'll see how much it grows once it gets wet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Like you would probably it would have been nice to try on a neckline like that. But I would say if anybody it wasn't going to fit well, it would probably be me, or maybe I'm flipping that.
Oh, with
I
your,
have very like, yes, shoulders. I would think if somebody had more sloped shoulders, it might look more natural. So who knows? Who knows? But yeah, again, you can kind of see that line that you increased. So now I've done a sweater that increased along the shoulder line like this, and then I've done one where I did it right in the middle, right?
mhm.
Um, and it just kept expanding out from there. But super love it. I can't remember the designer name, but it's my favorite sweater, number 28, and oversized fun. It does call for the combo of fingering weight and a mohair. So um, I didn't go rogue with that. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's a nice sweater. I liked the look of it. Obviously enjoyed the garter ridges, and it felt very potato chippy, right? Because it
Mhm.
was doing enough of a little bit of something different that it didn't. I mean, it's not knitting 100% ribbed sweater, which probably would have been like, and
Mhm.
it wasn't like so repetitive like a waffle stitch would have been, right? Like there's enough like, oh, and now I get to do a garter ridge and
Mhm.
sort of thing, which I know to some people is like something that you have to keep track of and pay attention to while you're knitting. For me, it just feels potato chippy, like, oh, now I get to do something different. So, yeah, I think that's a fun sweater. I think with the amount of positive ease that is, we were looking at it at one of the VKN's with the amount of positive ease that it calls for, it's not super size inclusive.
Mm.
But I think you could probably, yeah, again, if you're going to pay her money, you probably want her to include your size, right? But I think that it would be doable in expanded sizes. You would just probably start with a wider neck and increase for longer, perhaps.
Hmm.
But but yeah, super, super love it. Lots of bright, well, I guess those two were, well, this is a little more muted, but loving my bright orange, loving some bright green that I'm going to be getting on the needles here pretty soon. And can't wait to see the exciting conclusion to the will she, won't she on shoulder season.
Yeah, yeah. We'll find out. I have it all wound up. It's been wound up for months, waiting for, garter. But then I think I kept putting in little projects in between, and so my sweater never got the full attention. And
Mhm.
so now that the sweater is so tantalizingly close, I'm gonna get that hoodie off the needles, and I think that the shoulder season could probably go pretty fast if I yeah, became a monogamous
Mhm.
for 10 days.
You can do it.
Yeah, and it's a leap year, so I get an extra day.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
All
All
right,
righty.
bye.
Bye, Ufta.
Oh my God.